Americans have many questions tonight. Americans are asking, who attacked our country? The evidence we have gathered all points to a collection of loosely affiliated terrorist organizations known as Al-Qaeda. This group and its leader, a person named Osama bin Laden, are linked to many other organizations in different countries, including the Egyptian Islamic Jihad, the Islamic movement of Uzbekistan. There are thousands of these terrorists in more than 60 countries. They are recruited from their own nations and neighborhoods and brought to camps in places like Afghanistan, where they are trained in the tactics of terror. They are sent back to their homes or sent to hide in countries around the world to plot evil and destruction. America was targeted for attack because we're the brightest beacon for freedom and opportunity in the world. Today our nation saw evil, the very worst of human nature, and we responded with the best of America.
My name's Grant Collins. I'm a member of Iraq Veterans Against the War. I was a corporal in the 1st Battalion, 23rd Marines. Was in Iraq from August of 04 to May of 05. A few months after I was there, I mean, a lot of things weren't sitting right with me. The command structure, the missions that we were getting didn't make any sense. We're going after people, Mujahideen or Muj, and they didn't have any idea which ones were the right ones. We're kicking in the wrong doors, terrifying children, helicopters screaming over their heads at night, and I'm trying to calm the women and children while the men were dragged and separated out and completely humiliated in front of their families. In that culture, it's a very big deal to be treated with respect in front of your family, just as it is in ours. But in this, I mean, it can mean a lot of shame. When I really came to the point where I knew that what we were doing was absolutely morally wrong was when, well, my squad was tasked with taking this building, and the doorway, there was fire coming out of the doorway, machine gun fire, and from the windows. So I had an attachment of SMAs, which are rockets, like a two-man team of rockets, and you can use these rockets to blow holes, make another doorway, if you will, in the side of the building. So I gave the order for them to use the missiles on the building. So we hit it, and then we stormed into the building, and there was two 14, well, looked about a 14-year-old kid, a 6-year-old kid, and a young, maybe this could have been her husband. I couldn't tell because he was so messed up, and a woman that was bleeding, but not severely. And all she was screaming, "Why, Laish, Laish?" And I broke down. I leaned up against the wall, and as my rest of my Marines cleared through the building, and I sat there with the corpsman trying to do something about it. But I started to cry. I wanted to rip my hair out, what hair I did have, and go nuts. And the woman, seeing my reaction, came up to me and put her hand on my cheek and said, "Inshallah," which is God's will. Because these people over there, it doesn't matter what bad things happen to them, that they can accept it by the way, is God's will because they're deeply religious. It was my fucking order. I gave the order to fire those rockets into that building, and I killed her family. And that's when I knew that I was put in a situation where I had to do that. I thought I had to do that to keep myself and my Marines alive, thinking that, well, man, that was the best thing I could do at the time. Well, I have to live with that decision. From then on, of course, we had the rest of that battle to go through, and I saw more casualties, more civilians being killed.
All points to a collection of loosely affiliated terrorist organizations known as Al-Qaeda. This group and its leader, a person named Osama bin Laden,
of the people are against the war. 70% of Americans have been against the war for a long time. How about representing them? What does that say about the war? It's bad enough the soldiers can't speak, but speaking on our behalf? That's not right, Senator McCain. That's not right. And this war is not about honor. This war is about profiteering. When are we going to realize the people fighting in Iraq against us, they're not terrorists, they're soldiers. What would we do if somebody invaded us? I know I would pick up my weapon and fight against them. What the hell we call them? Terrorists? These people want their country back. Let's give them their country back. It's that simple. But guess what? God says love your neighbor as yourself. You know what? Let's put ourselves in those shoes and see how would we feel. It's that simple. Do unto others as you would have done unto yourself. If you're Christian, ask yourself that question. How would we feel if somebody came in this country and they thought President Bush was a bad president, and they said that we have these weapons, and they said that we're harboring terrorism, and they said that we're connected to Al-Qaeda or something, and it wasn't even true, and they attacked us? How would we feel? How would we feel if somebody used preemptive strike against us? We need to wake up.
Good afternoon. My name is John Michael Turner. I currently reside in Burlington, Vermont. I served with Company 3rd Battalion, 8th Marines as an automatic machine gunner. There's a term, once a Marine, always a Marine, but there's also the term, eat the apple, F the core. I don't work for you no more. On April 18th, 2006, I had my first confirmed kill. This man was innocent. I don't know his name. I call him the Fat Man. He was walking back to his house, and I shot him in front of his friend and his father. The first round didn't kill him after I had hit him up here in his neck area. And afterwards he started screaming and looked right into my eyes. So I looked at my friend who I was on post with, and I said, well, I can't let that happen. So I took another shot and took him out. He was then carried away by the rest of his family. It took 7 people to carry his body away. We were all congratulated after we had our first kills, and that happened to have been mine. My company commander personally congratulated me, as he did everyone else in our company. This is the same individual who had stated that whoever gets their first kill by stabbing them to death will get a 4-day pass when we return from Iraq.
We're on the offense against the terrorists on every battlefront, and we'll accept nothing less than complete victory. We know what the terrorists intend to do because they've told us. And we need to take their words seriously. So today I'm going to describe in the terrorists' own words what they believe, what they hope to accomplish, and how they intend to accomplish it. I'll discuss how the enemy is adapted in the wake of our sustained offensive against them, and the threat posed by different strains of violent Islamic radicalism. I'll explain the strategy we're pursuing to protect America by defeating the terrorists on the battlefield and defeating their hateful ideology in the battle of ideas. The terrorists who attacked us on September the 11th, 2001 are men without conscience, but they're not madmen. They kill in the name of a clear and focused ideology, a set of beliefs that are evil, but not insane. These Al-Qaeda terrorists and those who share their ideology are violent Sunni extremists. They're driven by a radical and perverted vision of Islam that rejects tolerance, crushes all dissent, and justifies the murder of innocent men, women, and children in the pursuit of political power.
We're nothing but pawns being used for their political agendas. You know, when I joined the military, I raised my hand and said that I'll protect the Constitution of the United States and its people, and against foreign and domestic enemies. But guess what? I did not raise my hand to protect private companies like KBR and put my life on the line so they can make a buck. And these politicians need to stop playing with the citizens' emotions and try to give them this emotional high and patriotism. Let's speak reality. Let's speak reality. You want to talk about honor and democracy and fighting for freedom? What's going on in Sudan right now? The genocide is going on over there. What are we doing about that? Nah, because we don't have any investments. These politicians don't have any investments over there. That's what it's all about. We need to wake up America.
'93, World Trade Center bombing, remember? During the trial, one of the bombers claimed the CIA had advanced knowledge. The diplomat who issued the terrorist visa was CIA. It's not unthinkable they paved the way for the bombing purely to justify a budget increase.
You're telling me that you're gonna fake some terrorist thing just to scare some money out of Congress?
Well, unfortunately, Mr. Hennessy, I have no idea how to fake killing 4,000 people. So we're just gonna have to do it for real. Oh, blame it on the Muslims, naturally. Then I get my funding. Good night, old girl. Timothy, I'll be at Shopper 1. Oh, blame it on the Muslims, naturally.
We are anonymous. We are legion. We do not forgive. We do not forget. Expect us.